Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. It's 10 o'clock. It is one more day until we say goodbye to 2024. But it's going to be ending on a warm note again, and a very warm day today. Overperformed the temperatures. Islip tied a record today, so let's talk about that. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about. The daily record maximum temperature was set at Islip MacArthur Airport. The temperature reached 61 degrees and broke the previous record. We didn't just tie it, we broke it. Islip reached 61 degrees and broke the previous record of 60 degrees set in 1984. And the records go back to 1963 at Islip. So, record high at Islip today. Very warm day today across the area. So let's go and look at Islip's climatological report. Starting off with that, there's your record high of 61, breaking the previous record of 60. That's 20 degrees above normal. Get this, the low of 51, 24 degrees above normal. That puts our average of the day at 56 at 22 degrees above normal. Now, we did record 0.42 inches of rain, so 5.70, and that was overnight. 5.70 inches of rain for the month, above the normal value of 4.57. Definitely a warm day today. A very warm day. Downright felt hot, actually. It's cooler in Central Park, a high of 58 and a low of 54, just 4 degrees between the high and the low. 20 degrees above normal for the day. And Central Park close to the normal value for precipitation for the year. Very warm. And let's take a look and see what we got going on outside right now. And if we look at satellite here, you'll see there aren't too many clouds around right now. There were a few patchy passing clouds today. There was plenty of sun. Just ridiculously warm. I'll show you what the sky looked like. You can see some of those patchy clouds that we had passing through. And then tonight we also had some patchy clouds also passing through as well. You can see them right here. I guess stratocumulus, maybe altocumulus or whatever. That's part of this whole area here. If we pull this out, we'll see. This is our next system that we got to deal with. New Year's Eve, you can see it. So let's take a look at what our current conditions are right now. It's still very mild out there. 48 degrees at Islip. That's above the normal high, and it is, 10 o'clock at night. The dew point's down to 34, so luckily the humidity is down. I'll show you what the day was like at Islip today. And you'll see here that, there's that 61, and we stayed there for a while. It was quite warm in the early afternoon, quite warm. And then it started dropping off as we got toward later in the afternoon, but with a west wind, no sea breeze. It was breezy at times. The humidity did wind up. It didn't drop off until we got to, right around noon. So once the sun peaked out, the temperature just shot right up. And that's it's very, very warm. So we still got temperatures upper 40s to around 50. Oddly enough, though, it's cooled off in New Jersey. Miller Air Park and the Pine Barrens west of Toms River. Boy, it's a lot cooler in Toms River than it is here. 34 degrees. Wow, so they've cooled off because the winds, I guess, have calmed down and they've been able to get some radiational cooling because the air is dry. We still have the winds here. So let's look at the highs for the day on the map here. And you'll see here, highs right around the 60-degree mark, upper 50s to around 60, low 60s, 61 at Islip. Very warm, 57 at Central Park. And let's see, New Jersey. Maybe it was cooler there. Not really. High of 59. And the lows, obviously, are the current temperatures. Not going to show you the lows here. We can show you how much precipitation we picked up in the past event. We'll just go to the 72-hour, and you'll see here we've got a decent amount of rain from that system. An inch, over an inch in some areas, so a decent amount of rain. A little less in Jersey, but half an inch to a little over an inch on Long Island. So plenty of rain, and we're going to be getting more tomorrow night. Looking at the radar right now, looking at what's going on across the country, this is our system. This is the system we're going to have to deal with Saturday night. It's almost like a little clipper type system. Not quite, but it's not going to, this is the system right here. As you can see, there's actually two warm fronts actually with this thing. Here's the surface analysis. We'll go look at that as well. You can see that we have a whole disjointed system here that's going to be coming in for your New Year's Eve. And that's going to bring more rain. let's look at our models. And we're just cover the weather from now through New Year's Day. Here's your system here that's going to come through tomorrow. Should be dry for the most part, but then just in time for New Year's Eve celebrations. Looks like it actually forms a low right on top of us, right when people are going to be celebrating the ball drop. That's going to help enhance the rain. Could even be some thunderstorms, and then kind of unsettled behind it for Wednesday with plenty of clouds in the cyclonic flow there that we have. So let's take a closer look at what we got here. The HRRR model. So here's the HRRR, and you see it's dry for most of tomorrow. That's the good news. And actually stay dry even like 8 o'clock. If you're in Jersey, it's going to start raining sooner. But definitely as we get toward 9 o'clock, the rain starts moving into the city in Long Island. And there could be some heavy downpours and possibly even some thunderstorms in here. This won't be an LLJ type of rain. It's mainly going to be just ahead of this cold front that we have. There could be, again, the chance of a shower or thunderstorm. The center of the low actually passes over us early Wednesday morning. There you go, 2025. And then that starts slowly pulling away. But we're going to have a cyclonic flow, so plenty of clouds, and there may even be a sprinkle or two, mainly in the north and west, and maybe even a flurry well to the north and west. Yeah, this is what we have here, and there could be some thunderstorms in that. And why will there be thunderstorms? Well, let's look at the dew point. And I think you'll see dew points stay fairly comfortable, but you'll see that it does bring in some moisture. It won't get that humid like it did last night, but there's some really humid air offshore that's going to be advected over the cooler, drier air to surface. That will help create some convection, and there could be a possibility of a thunderstorm here, for sure. And you'll see that very strong westerly wind on Wednesday. So looking at our temperatures, tomorrow it probably will be a little cooler than today, because if we look at the wind, you'll see that there was more of an easterly flow here. So southeasterly flow, so that should mean a cooler off the water wind. So temperatures probably making it maybe to around 50, maybe the low 50s, maybe a little more inland. And then the temperatures don't really drop too much tomorrow night. And then they kind of go up again as we get into that convective shower thunderstorm activity when temperatures might rise a little more back up to the low to mid 50s. And then for Wednesday, it's still going to get to close to 50 degrees. It won't be that cool. There'll be cloud cover and it'll be breezy, so maybe it'll feel a little cooler, but it won't really be that cool at all. As far as the total accumulated precip, we're going to look at several models. Of course, we will. This is what we have on the HRRR, and you see, it's patchy. It actually has a gap over some areas. Depends on where these showers and thunderstorms hit. There could be areas that don't really get as much rain as others, so it will be patchy. It won't be like a steady rain like what we had on Saturday. It's going to be patchy. It's going to be convective in nature. That means scattered about. This is what the HRRR has, all right? Let's look at a few soundings as well for the HRRR as well. Obviously, we will have clouds increasing tomorrow. We'll start with sun, but there'll be a lot of high and mid-level clouds moving in. Let's go to some soundings when this stuff starts moving through. Let's see, 5Z. That's perfect. You could see that there is some instability here. So let's go and look at the NAM next. NAM3, which we should have enough in by now. So this is the NAM, also showing the scattered nature of the precipitation. So some areas could pick up a half an inch to an inch of rain, others less than a quarter of an inch. It all depends on where these showers and thunderstorms hit. So here's the NAM, and you can see we're staying dry to around 8 o'clock and then on Long Island, but then you'll start seeing after 9 o'clock, that's when the rain moves in. It'll be scattered, the showers, and scattered thunderstorms in there too, perhaps. Scattered thunderstorm or two in there as well. You can see those little dark spots there. There could be, again, a thunderstorm in there. I don't think there'll be anything severe. Let's go look at the Storm Prediction Center just to make sure. Go to the day 2. Convective, no severe, just general thunderstorm. But there could be the chance of a thunderstorm with that convection in there for sure. And then the NAM sort of wraps around some moisture on Wednesday that might make it down to the ground. It could be. So every model's a little different with this. So, like I said, Wednesday won't be a bright sunny day. It'll be fairly cloud filled and breezy. That's the other thing. So we got to talk about the wind too. So those are the two major models I'll show you with this. Let's just look at the sky cover for tomorrow. We'll just use the NAM, I guess. What the heck? So start off with sunshine, and then the clouds will increase as we get toward later in the day. The NAM still has breaks. We may even get a sunset before the clouds roll in. And then for Wednesday, obviously, plenty of clouds for Wednesday. We can look at the RGM as well with this. So there's the RGM. Starting off with clear skies, and then we get some more, probably jet junk mixed in, and then some more clouds. But it still won't be completely over, because these clouds are kind of interesting the way this is all forming. So we may have some interesting clouds to look at. And it actually shows some breaks in the sky off to the south. But that will fill in on Wednesday under the cyclonic flow. So last thing we're going to talk about here, space weather. Just briefly touch on this for a minute. And the wind. So two things. Now, there is a solar flare. There might be a chance of an aurora tonight. I actually have a G3 watch. This is going to be in the early morning hours for tomorrow. So before the sun rises, we may have a chance to see the aurora. It's a G3 chance to see it. So there may be some chance. It won't be like what we had earlier this year, but there's a chance we might see an aurora. So we're going to watch this. It's going to be mainly in the morning hours. The strongest part may hit during daylight tomorrow, and then it fades even as the clouds roll in later on. So it'll probably wind up fading, but we'll see what happens. Lastly, let's go to the winds. Talk about the winds and see if we have a issue with winds tomorrow night. Here, I don't see it. I don't see any issues with the winds. I don't see it. This is not an LLJ kind of event, so I don't think so. But what we will have is winds on Wednesday. That will be stronger, and then we'll see some windy conditions on Wednesday, so gusts could be close to 30. Not quite. Well, getting close. Here we are in the afternoon, Wednesday evening, perhaps. A wind advisory might be needed Wednesday evening. I guess we will talk more about that tomorrow night. So that will wrap up this Long Island weather report. And again, unfortunately, it's going to be a showery, thundery evening. It won't be raining constantly, but certainly it depends on. It's really hard to get the timing right, but we might get lucky. It might not be pouring when the ball drops. It might just be moving out of the city by that time. So hopefully it's not pouring rain when people are watching it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and good night.